Alrighty, well, if all goes well, I'm going to be showing you how you can use the very, very easy map tools that come with the Esri Story Map. And we're going to compare trees in 3 different locations. My idea with this would be that you could use data from the GPM satellite mission, which is measuring global precipitation. You can get that data for seasonal or monthly. In this case, what I would do is I would get the seasonal precipitation data and I would compare and contrast trees in 3 different locations and look to see if the amount of precipitation that they're getting per season seems to make a difference in what the trees look like each season. So of course, what you'd need to do is you'd need to collaborate with a couple of schools. In this case, I'm looking at, if it was me collaborating with the St. Michael's Middle School in Malta, in Victoria, Malta, and the Batasan Hills National Secondary School in Quezon City, the Philippines. So I'm going to be showing you a very, very simple way of doing the maps. I have not done this investigation. This is just an idea. So I don't have that seasonal information, nor do I yet have the precipitation data. But I'm going to show you how you might, if you had all that data, create your map. So let me go ahead and share my screen. And I'm going to come over here and say that I want a new story. And I'm going to do a guided map tour because I'm looking at 3 different locations. As you do this, you can get a feel for what some of the different maps are like and how you can utilize them. Let's call this comparing trees in 3 locations. And we're going to be doing Damascus, Maryland, and we're going to be doing Victoria, Malta, and we're going to look at Quezon City in the Philippines. So one of the really fabulous parts of being a part of GLOBE is this ability to collaborate with different people around the world. Now, what I did here is, in this case, I have all ready to go on files here, some pictures of the things that I'm going to be putting pictures up. So one of them is going to be trees in my yard. So I'm going to go ahead and put that up there. So for my first location, I'm going to be looking at Maryland, and I'm going to be looking at, and I'm going to put here, since I'm not a school, Dorian Janney's trees, and add that this is in Damascus, Maryland, and put over here USA. Now, here's where using the story maps as the way to tell your story comes in really handy. There are so many ways in which you can utilize maps. I'm just showing you a very, very simple way today. And then next month, Peter Nelson is going to be showing you a much more challenging maps that you can use and ways that you can add different data and layers. So here you see I started to add my address. It came up, so I'm going to say okay. Super, super simple. I'm going to say add to map, and then I can pick how close or how far I want to zoom this. I'm going to go ahead and stay close right now for this. I'm going to say add location, but you'll notice that this map really just looks very boring. It doesn't really give us very much information. So I'm going to come over here to map options, and where I see select base map, I'm going to now click here. And now I have some different choices. Here I'm looking at the physical geography. That's pretty nice. I can come over here, and that's just, again, that just basic one. Here we're looking at different colors, but that's not really giving us what we want to look at as close, as well for trying to understand different types of trees. This one's not too bad. This one does kind of show us our kind of, more of this geography and perhaps even topography. Looks like it's also showing us vegetation here, and getting a feel for if you're living in a city or not is very, very helpful. So I'm going to come in and close, see what that looks like. Yeah, it's still not exactly what I would really like to get a lot more of the overall landscape. So this is actually pretty nice here. And this one's adding some labels there. So I'm going to keep that. I'm going to say done. Over here I see the house, I can see that it looks like it's in kind of a rural or maybe suburban location. And indeed, that's right. So there, I've got that one. So the next one I'm going to do, I'm going to come over here. And because I knew that we were going to be hearing from St. Michael's School in Malta, I went and I found some of the pictures that they have taken of their trees. So I added one of those. So I'm going to come over here and write St. Michael's School. And again, that is in Victoria, Malta, on an island. So we're going to come over and find that. So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say, and actually I'm going to call it Gozo College because St. Michael's School is a part of this Gozo College. And I found that out by looking at the GLOBE program when I went and found this data. So I'm going to add this to the map, and I've already established that I like this zoom level and that I like this base layer map. So I'm going to stay with this. And then I'm going to add one more location, and this is went on again like I had before, and I found that Badasan Hills has taken some pictures of trees, so I went ahead and grabbed one of theirs. If I was doing this as my, comparing and contrasting over the different seasons, I would of course ensure that I was picking tree images from different seasons. In this case, I didn't do that for just showing you how to do this because I'm not doing an entire IVSS project. That would be a lot more detailed, but it would be a lot of fun. I would like to do it. So I'm going to add that location and then say add. And now there's one other thing that I'd like to do. Come back here to the beginning and let's go ahead and see a preview, see what this looks like. So I can come here and here I am. I can come over here and I can click on this one, the first location where I live, and then I can come backward to get a feel for what are the ways in which this land is being used. And in this case, as I'd mentioned earlier, we see there's farms, we see it's suburban. As we come back a little further, we can see that it is outside of Washington, D.C., but it's definitely a very suburban type of an area, suburban or rural. So that gives us some information as we're looking through this and trying to get a better feel for, these trees and what some of the conditions are that they're growing under. So then I can come over here and now come a little closer to see, okay, well, this tree that's over here at St. Michael's School, what are the conditions under which it's growing? And again, I would also want to collect some precipitation data so I can be comparing and contrasting how much precipitation they get and getting a feel for how that also might impact the data. So this is pretty neat. You can come in close here. I would have the latitude and longitude when I look at the data for this specific tree, so I could even find which of these trees that it is. And I could even notate that using these tools, which is kind of a neat thing. So we see here it's on an island, get a better feel for what that's like. And then the last one, the Badasan Hills, I can come in closer to, come in closer to Badasan Hills, come over here to the Philippines. And for some reason that was not doing what I wanted to do. Okay, come over here to the Philippines. And nope, not you, darling. You, number 3. Maybe I just need to back it up, because that's back in Malta. And come over to this one. Work our way over here to the Philippines. Come on. And perhaps something happened when I was doing this and I was clicking too quickly. I see I just didn't go far enough here, so my bad. So Badasan Hills, Badasan Hills National High School. Aha, add to map. Yeah, it always does help when you make that last step. So there we go. Now come back here to preview. And actually, before I preview, I'm going to say edit. I'm going to add a cover image, browse my files, come to my tree story map, and I have a picture of my granddaughter hugging a tree. I'm going to put that on because I'm crazy about my granddaughter, and I think it's nice to have pictures of people hugging trees. But you notice here that we can't see her hugging the tree. So I'm going to just move this little dot down here, and now it's going to focus on that part. And there we are. There she is hugging the tree. Now we can go down here and we can see there's the tree in Maryland out in the urban area. Here's a tree at St. Michael's School, and I can move back a little bit, get a better feel for what St. Michael's School is like. And then here, added my Badison Hills, we see here also on an island and in a fairly large city as well. So I hope this is a help, just very, very basic, in a way in which you can go about creating a story and just getting in there and messing about with the maps a little bit. Next month, Peter Nelson is going to show us how to do some really awesome things with maps. But get in there and play with these maps a little bit so you can get a feel for what they can do and how you can add your images and find your locations, and then get ready for making it even more challenging